We in ecology, we're always innovating, and based on new studies and new science, we have now launched the new and upgraded Nordic Energy Booster, which we are very excited about. And before we jump into talking more about the product itself, we want to talk a bit about nutrition and food and why it's important for everybody to take such a supplement as Nordic Energy Booster. And we know that healthy foods, and if the food that would be green, nutritious, and water, and all of these types of food is supposed to give us all the nutrients that we need. But also then we know that it does not. So because a lot of what we eat these days are not nutritious and not green, and most of it is also then ultra processed. So a lot of the food as a part at least of our diet is now processed in any way, in such way that it doesn't contain a lot of nutrients, unfortunately. So when people before, maybe in the 1930s or before that, when they eat real food, they might have gotten a lot of antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins, but today it's quite little amounts actually.
And we are recommended to eat at least 5 portions of fruit and vegetables every day, but we know that very few people are actually able to eat those 5 portions. So 3 out of 4 does not.
Very little. That's even 5 is then difficult for people to get. And where do they get their nutrients?
Yeah. So, and in addition to that, the vitamin and mineral content in our food declines. Because so since 1930, in carrots, there used to be a strong source of magnesium, but it's 37% less. And in broccoli, it's 80% less. When you look at folate, also reduced by 80%. And in potatoes, we see 70% reduction in B6. That's quite...
That's a lot. So then today eating healthy foods won't give you as much as it did before. And that's also very, very sad. So, and there's many reasons for this. It might also be that the nutrition in the soil where the vegetables and the fruits, etc., are grown is very depleted in nutrients. And also another one is that we have more transport, more export of vegetables, fruits, grains, etc., from other countries and long transport times. And often also the fruit and vegetables might be picked even before it's ripe. So it might green, like we know about green bananas, but what I didn't know is that most of it is picked green, transported to Norway, and then it's gassed in these rooms to make them ripe in a way.
And for fruit and vegetables to be ripened in the sun versus in a greenhouse is day and night in nutrient content. So in Norway we're very proud of our strawberries, which we say is the best in the world. And the Norwegian strawberries who are ripened in the sun and who are exposed, to UV lighting and to cold and temperature changes, they become very high in antioxidants versus the ones that are produced in a greenhouse. I mean, it's at least 350 times more antioxidants in those strawberries outside. So it's almost not even the same berry anymore.
No. And then how to know what to choose. If you go to the store and you choose food, how to know if it contains a lot of nutrients or not. And that's also a thing to think about and to be conscious about, actually.
Yeah. So should we take a closer look at some of the nutrients that are important to focus on in our diet and supplements?
Yes, absolutely. We can start with, for instance, magnesium. This is a mineral that you can commonly find in different plant foods, greens, for instance, and it's well known in supplements, usually in sports supplements. But what people might not know is that magnesium is very often or quickly depleted from the body. So if you are stressed, if you sweat a lot, if you drink coffee a lot, then you might have very low magnesium levels in your body. So you can take it, but then it's also quickly depleted. And a lot of the supplement form of magnesium are not taken up efficiently in the body either. And also it's dependent on, for instance, vitamin D and vitamin B6 to be able to be transported out in the body where it's used and also to be utilized in the best way.
And another very important nutrient is folate. And this is actually quite concerning data that in Germany, the average intake is half the recommended intake.
It's low.
It's quite low. And folate is crucial for cell division. And folate is also a very important part of fetus development. And we know that women have far too low levels of folate. And it is recommended on a national level that women trying to get pregnant do take a folate supplement. But I think this is quite concerning actually, that it's half the recommended intake.
Absolutely. And sometimes also when they are recommended a supplement, it might not be the best for them as well, because there are different forms of, like folate. They use folic acid, for instance, as well. So.
Yeah. And folate is, the best sources are plant-based. And this is, again, we know that 3 out of 4, they don't eat enough plant-based material. So selenium, this is an interesting one. Selenium is a very strong antioxidant and important for our immune system. And this is an example of that you might not always be aware of how much selenium you actually get from your diet, because the content in the soil the grains are grown in, that matters for the selenium content. And in Norway we don't grow enough grains ourselves, so sometimes we buy flour from Poland and sometimes we buy from the US, and you do see on a national level that the selenium intake it varies. So this is I think that's an interesting thing, because you feel like you go and you buy the same product and you eat the same food, but you don't know how much selenium.
No, because then it depends on where it comes from, like you say, and all of these contents, so you never know how much selenium you get in the body.
And in Europe, the soil content is low, so we should be aware of this. Yeah.
And then iodine is a very important mineral for growth and metabolism, especially for children. It's needed for their development and also thyroid function for adults, etc. And many have too low values of iodine.
Yeah.
And especially then young women, those are supposed to be like pregnant.
Yeah. So that was about a decade ago that we discovered. That was quite surprising for the government, I think, when they discovered that the iodine levels in women were, and especially pregnant women, were dangerously low. And that's because they had overestimated the iodine intake. So when they say a portion of whitefish, which is a good source of iodine, they estimated that we eat 4 or 5 times as much as we actually do. So that's quite interesting.
Yes,
one, I think.
absolutely. And you also that it takes a long time for the body to restore the values.
Yeah.
When you have a deficiency, it takes up to 2 years for the body to restore the values, and which is quite scary as well. And you also probably heard about like struma, that's what we call it in Norwegian. People got this gout, I think. That was also like iodine deficiencies, and they might say that these types of things might be a problem again now, because the iodine levels are so low in our food and in our in our bodies.
And then we have zinc and copper. And zinc, that's a very strong antioxidant. And it's important for our skin. Our body needs this to create tissue and to repair tissue and cell renewal. And here we go to the animal-based sources for the highest availability. And I think copper is actually quite a forgotten nutrient.
Yes.
And copper deficiency is more common than you think. It's often disguised as iron deficiency. So many will, if they have, because the symptoms are very similar, so many will go to the doctor and the doctor will say, oh, it's probably just iron deficiency. So if you know someone that's had been taking iron supplements over time and not responding to it, that's a very good indication that it might actually be copper as well. And copper is also, it's important for our skin and to create tissue. And when it comes to zinc and copper, you need to supplement both at the same time, because they, when it comes to absorption, they fight for the same
uptake channels. They have this synergy and needed to be combined together. A lot of minerals and vitamins, etc., have to be combined together as well. So that's That's very interesting. So when we have mentioned all of these things, we would ask you a question, like, do you think that your body would need a vitamin and mineral supplement? And for most people, it will be a yes. So most of us have too low levels of the essential nutrients in the body. So a recommendation is then to take a supplement. And then, of course, we're very proud then to launch the new and updated
Nordic Energy Booster. Yes.
So there are many changes to this product, but mainly we want to highlight these topics that is highly bioavailable and effective. So the new ingredients put into the product are very different in terms of these, and also they are branded. So they are ingredients backed by science, and we'll come back to this, and of premium quality and high potency. So we will now focus a bit about the bioavailability and the effects.
Yeah. So what does bioavailability mean? Basically?
Okay, so bioavailability is a word that we use quite often, and it means like how efficient the ingredient is taken up and used by the body. How efficient can the body use it then to produce what it needs? So it's very important that the nutrient that you give in a supplement is bioavailable, that it's taken up and has a positive effect for the body and for the person. Or what else? What's the other options that you take something and it just go through your system and it goes out and nothing is really used?
No, I don't think many people know that, because when they buy a supplement and they see the value on the ingredient list, then they don't realize that, okay, my body might not actually be able to absorb this or metabolize this, and so it's a large variety.
Absolutely, a large variety. So the content, the nutrient value on the back is not important. It's actually if the ingredient is bioavailable. And that is what we have focused a lot on here. So here you see all the new branded ingredients that are added to the Nordic Energy Booster. We will go more into them as well. What we need them up branded will also come, but
there are
many quite a lot. There's 7 new ingredients. And also there are added vitamins and minerals in general. They're also much more bioavailable than the ones, because we know more now. So then we have added more bioavailable ingredients in the whole of the product. And what is important when we talk about this is, like we say, we want to give people a product that can give them a benefit in the body, to give them more energy, to give them a better health effects. So that is the aim and the goal of the whole product, to have energy through the day. So the branded ingredients. So let's just
go through them.
Yes, go to them. So we have, like we mentioned, 7. What they are is they are ingredients of high quality. So they are from trusted suppliers, which have then looked into the ingredients, and they have made scientific research. They probably also students and patents on these ingredients. So they are validated, they are backed, and they also have efficient effects in the body, like the bioavailability that we mentioned. And they go through strict quality controls and standards, and they also contain the same amount of the actives per batch. So when you buy something, you know that it's the same every time you buy it, which is also very, very important.
Yeah, because that can vary a lot.
That can vary a lot. So then getting the branded ones is high quality, top notch.
Okay, so this is the new ingredient list, how it looks. Behind the ingredients, it's trademarked, so you can actually see what source of the vitamin or where it comes from now. So you can see there are a lot of changes to the ingredient list.
Yes, absolutely. So the R's and the TMs represent the branded ones. And one of the new ones are the branded ingredients are called Aquamin. This is a marine magnesium, which they call a multi-mineral complex that comes from the Arctic. So it's actually magnesium that comes from the sea. So you take the magnesium up from the Arctic Sea, and then it's combined with lots of essential trace minerals as well. So it's like a complex of different, very important ingredients. And it's has a high bioavailability in the body. It's taken efficiently up in the body when you take it. And also, when it has these trace minerals, it creates this synergy for better absorption as well. And an important other factor is that it's gentle on the stomach and the digestive system. And also, we find another magnesium source. It's from Pharmagenesia. It's a magnesium bisglycinate chelate. That means that the magnesium is stabilized inside inside glycerin, and the depeptides, two peptides. It stabilizes the magnesium all the way through the digestive system, so that the magnesium is not affected by what you eat or with pH or coffee, etc. Because we know that many other sources of magnesium can be affected by this.
And inhibit the magnesium absorption.
Yes. Yeah. So here is then stabilized the whole way down, and it's also taken up as protein. So it's smuggled into the body as a protein. So we cheat the body and to absorb it in a much more efficient way, which is good for the body. And it's also very gentle on the stomach.
Yeah, because supplements can sometimes be hard on the stomach.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know you handpicked these two magnesium sources. So why are there three different ones? Why?
Yes, because then we have another one as well. We also have magnesium malate. So we want to create a synergy in the product, adding three different forms, and then combine it also with vitamin B6. And then we have added, again, a bioavailable form of vitamin B6. So they all can work together to be even better absorbed in the body, to have an even higher effect for the person taking it.
So it really is a large upgrade on the magnesium front in the Nordic Energy Booster.
Absolutely. And then we have vitamin C.
Yeah.
It's called ester C.
Yeah. And as we know, vitamin C is the only nutrient we don't have any form of storage of. Meaning we need vitamin C every day. We can't use the vitamin C we took yesterday, today. So we need it every day. Yeah. And most supplements, they are quite high in vitamin C content, but the absorption is very low. So often it's only maybe 20% of the vitamin C that is absorbed. But again, this is highly bioavailable.
Yes,
word of the day, bioavailable. And also, this is in a form that it lasts longer in the body, because the body cannot store it. So it's absorbed in the blood, and then it's filtered through our kidneys, and then it's secreted through our urine. So very often with a vitamin C supplement, you will only have it for very few hours in the body. This is available in our body for up to 24 hours.
Yes,
so
that's pretty special. And there are also science studies showing the bioavailability of this fact that it stays in the body for quite some time. And it's also very non-acidic, so people don't react the same way as they do with other vitamin C's. Yeah. They don't feel the burps or they don't feel the burn in the stomach, which is important. So again, gentle.
Gentle. And then we have added quattrofolic, which is a very high quality form of folate. Sorry. And the interesting thing here is when we talk about folic acid, which is common to use in supplements, that actually 10% of people are not able to metabolize them. So this is the active form of folate, and so it's bioavailable. And like we said, it's folate levels in the population is dangerously low, especially among women. This is a quality folate supplement is key.
Yeah, that's absolutely key. And there's been numerous health benefits of taking a good form of folate, like the quattrofolic. And then also we have added a natural source of iodine.
Yeah.
Because the natural source is taken up also much better than the artificial sources. So this one is from the Arctic as well. It's an Arctic form of iodine from the Arctic waters, which again, highly bioavailable, and it contains also trace minerals that supports the iodine itself. So also that will support the bioavailability, but also the function of the iodine. And then selenium, linseed fort selenium. It's selenium that's finished. It's ready to be taken up by the body and used by the body. So it's in its finished form. So then again, very highly bioavailable,
Yeah.
which is important.
And all of these nutrients together, they form a synergy in our body. You know, no nutrient work alone.
It's like you said, and also when you eat a food, you get lots of different nutrients.
Yeah.
So this is what we try to mimic again. You get many, many things together in one supplement. So many of them are essential to be together, like selenium, iodine, they're needed together to get the benefits, and magnesium and zinc, etc. So it's also for the benefits in the body, but for the absorption. So adding vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And then when it comes to ecology in general and our products, we sell in over 32 different countries.
Yeah.
And the thing is that these different countries have different regulations for what's allowed in terms of vitamins and minerals, upper levels, different between different countries, which is quite strange that they cannot harmonize this. So there are different upper levels in different countries, and we have to apply to all of these different regulations. So on the other side here, we see the sort of content that you find now in the new and updated Nordic Energy Booster. You will notice then that some of the levels are a bit lower than in the other product that we have, and some are higher. And there is, let's take an example, for instance, the magnesium level. To be able to harmonize with all the different countries, the magnesium level in itself, the amount, have decreased some. But, like we talked about so much now, the bioavailability is higher. So even though the value is a bit lower, the effects and everything is equally good or even higher than before due to a higher bioavailability that you can actually use the ingredients that are in there. So don't pay too much attention to that the values have gone down, but think bioavailability and the fact that these can now actually be utilized in a higher degree of the body.
Yeah. 3 different types of magnesium just working in a synergy.
Absolutely. And those trace minerals working together, and the B6 and all of this. And when you take the oil as well, you get vitamin D3, which will then, or you take the K2D3 capsules as well, and all of our other D3 products, it will also benefit the magnesium inside of the body. And some of the vitamins are a bit higher than before. But bioavailability is the key, not the actual content.
Okay, so here's the new box.
Yes, the new box will look like this.
And now you will get 1 box instead of 2, and you will have the 4 blisters inside one. And it's made to have 4 tablets a day. And now the new thing is also it's recyclable blisters, so you can throw it in the plastic and it will be recycled. So it's a more sustainable product as well.
Yes.
And as you can see, it's a bit of a change in color. It's slightly more blue. And the reason for this is that we added the Norwegian bilberries, which are Norwegian blueberries, and they're very high in antioxidants. Because up here in the north, it's cold, so they have to survive cold temperatures. They have during the summer it's daylight almost 24/7, so they're exposed to daylight for a large amount of hours every day, and this makes them very, very, very high in antioxidants and very beneficial to our health.
So now we have it inside the tablets and also outside. So that's why you see the blueberry or bilberry colored tablets now.
Such a nice color.
It's very, very beautiful as well. So now we also have 1 product for all countries.
Yeah.
So that's very, very nice. And we know that if you take all of the separate vitamins and minerals and antioxidants in the product, it will have so many different health claims from EFSA.
Yeah.
So we can say that more than 100 different health claims will be available for the product. If you look, for instance, on magnesium itself, or if you look at iodine, etc. So from energy metabolism to immune system, oxidative stress, bone, muscles, and also for nerve system and the brain.
Yeah.
So many different benefits from taking different vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants.
Yeah.
And we also then always advise people to also take the tests, combine the product with the mineral tests
Yeah.
in order to get that snapshot of how the status is inside of your body at the specific time.
Yeah.
So then the product and then the tests. So in order to sum it up, we have then added branded ingredients into the product, new ingredients for higher trust and better effects.
Yeah.
And the word of the day is
Bioavailability.
yes, which is very, very important. So we, all of us, hope that you will be very happy and satisfied, and that people will get good effect with this new upgraded Nordic Energy Booster.